Oh shit.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another Dead Funny channel update. As you're probably noticing by now, there is no podcast at the moment. Podcast could be coming a little bit later on today, if not maybe Tuesday-ish morning, depending on how late it actually uploads. But until then, I got some updates run past you guys, and then got a little bit of gameplay footage for you guys to watch. So don't worry, you will have at least a 30-minute video as of right now to watch. So, anyways, jumping into the updates, first big update on the list. You've kind of seen on a couple episodes of like podcasts and review show and stuff like that, we've had some new people on as guest stars, Cody and Mandy. Wanted to go ahead and give the official announcement that they have both joined the Dead Funny team officially. So whenever you get a chance, welcome them in the comments. But obviously, Cody, Mandy, welcome to the team. Glad you're here. On top of that, we have another member that has officially joined the team, and her name is Bree. Not the same Bree, obviously. We got Bree and Bree, but this Bree, she is more of a behind the scenes. You've kind of heard us talk about her on certain podcasts, stuff like that. She does a lot of the behind the scenes work as far as like scheduling and stuff like that, which is pretty awesome. Vital part of the team. So welcome to the team as well, Bree. Moving on past that with the new members. So one of the things that I do want to jump into first is what you'll kind of see for sure this week, the first episode, and the weeks to come is we have officially started our DFU semester series. Now, once again, our DFU semester series, I know we've kind of promoted it a little bit here and there, but just in case you haven't gotten a chance to actually hear or see what we've been talking about, the semester series is where we break into one subject over a course of a bunch of different episodes. Uh, a lot of these subjects are the more massive dives, like Final Fantasy VII is the first topic. I'm not going to throw anyone out there, more else out there, because I don't want you guys to get your hopes up and something happen and we not record it. So Final Fantasy VII for sure. We have started. Episode 1 is in the editing booth right now and should be cranked out and ready to go tomorrow. That being said, just so people know, once again, the semester series does not continue straight as far as, or straight through, as far as we might do an episode of something else in between. Basically, a semester series should be looked at as its big own series, but it's also a filler in between class or study group episodes when we don't have big things coming out like Endgame and stuff like that. So just so everybody's aware, that's kind of how we're going to treat the series. It's kind of how we're going to do the series moving forward. It is a little bit different of a style and setup than the original Dead Funny University like class and study group. They all have their own kind of like interesting, unique take on them. Class being where we do the test before and after, and it's kind of a quick, just base level knowledge type deal. And then Kelsey, kind of runs through the entire thing. To where study group, Kelsey runs us through bringing us information and, all of us kind of coming together on where we're at with certain things, bringing everything forward and making predictions and theories and stuff like that. And then semester is more of a lecture-ish type deal, but not too much. There's a little bit of back and forth in there, but it is one of those things where, for instance, with me being the teacher for Final Fantasy VII, which obviously, if you haven't guessed that by now, you obviously haven't watched enough of our content. Just kidding. But anyways, obviously with me being the teacher, it takes a lot more of the teacher role as far as explaining this story. My ultimate goal, in my opinion, is to get Kelsey to the point where she wants to play the game. If I can do that, then I feel like I did my job. And hopefully we get to do that on multiple different things, because that's the point in the DFU anyway, is not only for Kelsey, who is kind of new to the gaming-ish type spill with some of the memes and behind the scenes logo or like little jokes and stuff that we make, but to also help other viewers like yourself, if you haven't played Final Fantasy and you don't know what the big buzz is, or even if you have played Final Fantasy and you never played 7, you don't know what the big buzz is, or if we were to do, once again, doesn't mean this is going to get recorded. I guess I'll go ahead and say that first. But we're to do something like Zelda or Halo or Diablo or Gears of War, anything like that. Um, it's a chance for you guys to kind of understand that world and that lore without having to dive deep in the games and spending the money to go into the games, and then possibly getting a chance to figure out that you actually do like the games and then dive into those anyway. So like I said, definitely pretty cool thing going on there. Something else that you'll notice is that Bree Bree is back. She is out of her busy season. She's done a couple videos here and there. So what is the Friday slot? The Friday slot could look jumbled to a lot of different people, especially newer people to the channel. So what is the Friday slot? That's something that I did want to definitely talk about because Bree Bree kind of runs that slot. So the Friday slot is, to Dead Funny, the seasonal show. So during your holidays, during your specific months or whatever you want to call it, where there's more holiday-ish themed type games, Bree Bree will be taking ahead on that. Something that you might see that kind of goes outside the bounds a little bit more is Fright Night. So it seems like there's still Fright Nights, even though October is kind of a ways away. So Fright Night, when we first created Fright Night, it wasn't technically a seasonal show, and it also wasn't technically not a seasonal show. We didn't really know what we wanted to do with Fright Night at the moment it was happening. We did know for a fact we wanted a seasonal show, though. So it just kind of made sense for Bree to be the seasonal person, that it just kind of stay in that Friday slot. So Fright Night in general, maybe come October we'll name it something else. Maybe we won't. I don't know. That's a bridge we'll cross when we get there. But the Fright Night aspect is something that can continue on. So if you're still seeing Fright Night episodes, like for instance, the last Friday was Resident Evil 2. That's Fright Night. Once again, that's more of a Bree plays scary games. It doesn't necessarily mean Halloween. So just to kind of let you guys know what's going on with that, so you kind of understand. You've also seen some filler episodes in there. Those are basically things that we kind of put out in between as well, so that way it's like not always having to be Bree to make sure something gets done on Friday, because she does stream. She also is on podcasts and review shows, and she also does stuff on Darkstar and everything else. So to just kind of help get a rotation, so you can see more faces that aren't doing like solo gameplays, because at this point I believe that is the only solo gameplay thing we have going on, is just the Friday slot. So it kind of gives you a chance to possibly see me doing some solo gameplay. I know there's going to be some games possibly coming out soon, hopefully with Kelsey just doing some solo gameplay, so that way you kind of get a little bit of a mix around of people. So that's what the filler series will be, but the Fright Night is kind of like specifically just Bree, and the seasonal stuff for at the moment is specifically just Bree. Filler can kind of be any of us, but that's all kind of like within that Friday slot. So I know like it's kind of looked like a little bit probably of a jumbled mess, but now that I kind of broke it down, hopefully you kind of understand that those are specific shows in specific slots. That's why they're in a specific playlist. On top of that, that's kind of like a flex spot as well for AMV, if we ever have any more of those. Dead Funny gameplays, stuff like that. It is a really flexible day for us, Friday is. So just bear that in mind. Everything else is kind of set to a standard schedule. Besides game night is something that is a rarity. Whenever it comes up, when we can get it out is when we can get it out. We've only had like 2 episodes so far. So just things to kind of keep in mind whenever you're looking at the content and kind of wondering, we only go Monday through Friday, but we have all these different playlists. What's going on with that? Just to kind of give you guys another heads up as far as Review Block is concerned. Some of you who have been here since the channel started, and some of you who have went through the playlist have seen that the Review Block playlist has gotten a couple views recently. For those of you who are watching through Review Block and stuff like that and wondering what's going on with that show, that got put on the back burner to kind of just dissect it and figure out a way that I can make that show better, or I guess I should say as we can make that show better, meaning that there's a good chance that if it comes back, I might not be on it. I could be on it. I could be not the only person on it. I don't know. It could go multiple different ways. Not 100% sure how that's all going to go down yet, but basically that's something for you guys to be able to look forward to whenever that does come back. Once again, no time on that yet. As we grow as a team, we start to grow bigger with content, and as we grow bigger with content, then we can obviously be able to do stuff as far as make more shows, possibly do more than just one show a day. So that all being said, I think that pretty much wraps up all of the information I felt that needed to be said. Once again, if you're looking for the podcast is going to be later on tonight, possibly tomorrow-ish morning, depends on when it will actually upload, hopefully later on tonight, so you will get a podcast. But in the meantime, like I said, this was the Dead Funny channel update, and then I got some gameplay for you guys to check out and watch, as well. So going to go ahead and click over to that. It's just some solo gameplay of me playing Risk of Rain on Monsoon difficulty, going until I die, to give you guys something to laugh at. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you next time.